happening in Fulton. The rise in COVID-19 has Fulton officials urging residents to stay safe and get tested.
COVID testing sites are already up and running all over Fulton County. I'm Daryl Carver. I'll tell you more about those sites and those times for those locations, as well as why you should also consider getting a flu vaccination.
Also, there's much to tell related to Fulton's strategy for the upcoming election. We'll have a full report. Those stories, plus how juvenile court kicked off the holiday in this edition of Fulton Today that starts right now. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. This holiday season is proving to be unlike any other, as this pandemic is showing no signs of ending. It's why county officials are urging residents to get tested and to follow all of the safety protocols identified. FGTV's Daryl Carver joins us with more on this massive effort. Daryl?
That's right, Shania. Yes. Fulton County officials are urging the public to remain vigilant during what they're calling a public health perfect storm. That's because cases of COVID-19 are skyrocketing all over the nation, and Fulton County is no exception. It's flu season, so that too is causing these officials a great deal of worry. Then to add to it, it's during the holiday season when people are more likely to be in settings that are indoors with a larger number of people, and all of that has the makings for a lot of problems for public health officials. It's why Fulton County is now trying to get the word out about testing options this flu season.
COVID-19 is much more easily transmitted than seasonal flu, and it has a higher mortality rate. COVID also has a higher rate of long-term repercussions, even among younger people and people who were ill but didn't need to be hospitalized. And so current estimates, which could change, but at the moment, the current estimates are that at least 10% of people who survive the initial COVID-19 infection go on to become long haulers, meaning that they still experience significant deficits even months after infection. And these deficits affect nearly all the major body systems, including the respiratory, the cardiac, and neurologic systems, as well as the clotting system. So there have been reports of even young people having strokes and pulmonary emboli and other life-threatening clots as a result of COVID infection.
Free COVID-19 testing is available to residents at various locations from Monday through Friday. Among these locations are the Adamsville Health Center, the Center for Health and Rehabilitation, Wolf Creek Amphitheater, and 4700 North Point Parkway in Alpharetta. There are also other mobile testing locations available each week. Saturday testing is also available at some of these locations. All of the testing sites can be found on Fulton County's website. Confirm testing day information the day of your test at the Core Relief website. Now, as we mentioned earlier, it is still flu season as well. So Fulton County's Board of Health is offering the flu vaccine. To get more information on where you can receive that vaccine, you can visit their website. That's fultoncountyboh.org. Once again, fultoncountyboh.org. And the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is really recommending that individuals who haven't lived in your home during the 2 weeks ahead of an upcoming holiday should stay in a separate area of the house with a designated bathroom if at all possible. Also, though it may not be the normal practice in your home, officials are also recommending that family members wear a mask and stay at least 6 feet away and wash their hands often. However, the best advice the doctors are offering right now is to really limit those family gatherings, especially if those gatherings are happening inside. Reporting from Fulton County, I'm Daryl Carver for FGTV.
All right, thank you very much, Daryl. You see, I too am taping from home to stay safe, so thanks again. And still to come, what you need to know about Election 2020 and that all-important absentee ballot request deadline. Stay with us.
We are in the midst of a 1 in 100 years pandemic, And we're clearly experiencing a surge in infections in Georgia and across the United States. The winter's coming reference is appropriate because winter literally is coming. And with the cold weather, people spend more time indoors and in close contact with others, thereby increasing the chances of transmitting infection. And it's also the start of the traditional cold and flu season. Practice social distancing and wear a mask whenever you're out in public. Wash your hands and try not to touch your face. Take advantage of the free COVID-19 testing that's available at the numerous testing sites that we've been set up throughout Fulton County. You should also take advantage of the free seasonal flu vaccinations that we're now offering at the Fulton County COVID testing sites. Fulton County, winter is coming.
Welcome back, everybody. Some important dates are looming as county officials are working to execute a smooth runoff election. FGTV's Douglas Bell joins us now with the very latest. Douglas?
Shania, it's been a busy election cycle for Fulton County, and the work continues. From the audit and recount, now Fulton County elections officials are working to execute the runoffs. The January runoff will decide who fills both of Georgia's seats in the United States Senate and who will serve as Georgia's Public Service Commissioner. For those registered to vote by December 7th, there are several options on casting a ballot. Starting December 14th, you can vote early at one of the multitude of locations throughout the entire county. This time, those sites include both State Farm Arena and now Mercedes-Benz Stadium. As for State Farm Arena, that facility will be open for early voting from December 14th through December 19th. Mercedes-Benz early voting will be from December 22nd through the 30th, but closed on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Those who have absentee ballots can drop them off at one of the drop box locations spread throughout Fulton County. You have until December 31st to request an absentee ballot, and those returned by drop box need to be in the box by the time the polls close on Election Day, January 5th. Voters can cast votes in person at their local polling sites on that Election Day, January 5th. Those voting early in person or on Election Day should remember to have some form of government-issued photo identification to present at the polling site. You are also asked to wear a mask, and social distancing will be exercised. For information on voting in the runoff, please visit the Fulton County website at fultoncountygA.gov. And for information on your Election Day polling site, visit the Secretary of State's My Voter page at mvp.sos.ga.gov. And of course, you can also download the Fulton Votes app. As you know, Shania, a record number of voters participated in the general election during early voting and with absentee voting. Fulton County is preparing for that same kind of voter engagement for this runoff election. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Douglas Bell.
Thanks again, Douglas. And one more time, to get all of your election information, please visit the county's website or download the county's voting app. And when we come back, we continue our last conversation with the county manager to find out what's on tap for the state's largest county. Stay with us. Well, during our last Fulton Today, we went one-on-one with the county manager at length and discussed everything from his team's effort during the 2020 election, which is still ongoing, and of course, we talked about COVID-19. But there was a few other things that we discussed that we didn't get a chance to show you. Take a look.
As we're thinking about 2021, two themes are beginning to emerge as we put our budget recommendation together for consideration by the Board of Commissioners. One is steady as she goes. What we would recommend is we continue to fund and plan for many of these programs, whether it's testing, the acquisition of personal protective equipment, community support, continue into 2021, at least for the next 6 months or so into the new year. And while there may be federal funding available, we're not certain of that yet, so we're going to plan for an allocation of funds to continue that if it is not available. So there's no interruption in our efforts or services. In addition to that, I think we should begin to think about and are thinking about how the courts continue to reopen. That's obviously one of our most important functions beyond elections. There are business in the courts now that's done virtually, but there are plans being developed for more physical contact with things like grand juries occurring early or late this year or early next year. So we need to continue to think about that. As well, our board has asked us to look at our libraries for some limited level of access. So we're going to look across the country to see what others are doing, also think about how to keep a safety first mindset to see what we could do in that area. In addition to safety first, what I would also say, in addition to steady as she goes with safety first mindset, what I'd also say is emerging as a theme is employee engagement. So I've just had recently an opportunity to talk to 20 or so of our employees in a chat and chew environment, which was virtual, by the way, as opposed to physical. But it really brought home to me concerns that our employees will have as we move into next year. First of all, I don't see any disruption in employment, so no layoffs anticipated. I do not see any impact to employee pay, so I anticipate no furloughs of things of that nature. We will recommend to the board that we release the hold on vacancies. So we would be able to restaff and already are beginning to do that in many of our critical areas where we had vacancies. We could now bring our staffing back to levels that could deliver full service. At the same time, I think what I've heard from our employees, one mechanism being the chat and chew that I mentioned, is a real intense focus on how do we enable folks who are still working and may still be working in a virtual environment. They may still be working because of the pandemic. They also may still be working in a virtual environment because we found that to be more productive. And quite frankly, many of our employees enjoy that freedom. But what I think I also recognize is, are we doing everything to both equip our employees if they're in a remote environment with technology? Are we making sure that they are trained to use that technology? All of us have learned the term Zoom in the last 9 months, but becoming proficient at all of those different programs is another matter at times. As well, how do we ensure that they stay engaged with one another as colleagues as well as with management? And lastly, how do we give management new skills and new capabilities to understand productivity and worker engagement when you're not seeing the worker necessarily or the employee on a day-to-day basis? So all of those things I'm encouraged to really look at and spend time thinking about with our leadership, Anna Roach and Sharon Whitmore and others in all of the elected official offices on how do we best move forward in 2021 engaging our workforce.
Well, it's always a pleasure to hear from the manager. Again, thank you very much, sir. And still to come on Fulton Today, a host of holiday workshops and giveaways. Stay with us. Well, even in the midst of this pandemic, the county is finding a way to stay in the holiday spirit. FGTV's Taria Smith joins us now with details of everything from virtual workshops to giveaways. Taria?
Shania, as part of the effort to reach out to families in need this holiday season, Fulton County Commission Vice Chairman and District 5 Commissioner Marvin S. Arrington Jr., in partnership with the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, is inviting residents to support the annual Dads, Daughters, and Dolls Plus Sons Drive. This is an effort to collect new dolls and other toys for children of men who are incarcerated in the Fulton County Jail. Children will receive handwritten letters from their fathers in addition to the gifts provided by donors. Donations will be accepted from November 30th through December 11th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Participants are asked to contribute toys for children between the ages of 1 and 12 by dropping off donations at the Fulton County Government Center, the Oak Hill Child Adolescent Family Health Center, and the South Fulton Service Center. Now, in years past, the toys were distributed in person. However, due to the pandemic, this year's event will wrap up with 2 drive-through gift distributions on December 14th at the Watley Library, on December 16th at the South Fulton Service Center. Anyone wishing to volunteer to assist with either of these events can RSVP via the Eventbrite links located on the District 5 website and social platforms. And finally, the Fulton County's Arts and Cultural team is expanding their virtual offerings with holiday workshops throughout the month of December as part of Virtually Creative, the new Fulton County Virtual Arts Education Program. Celebrate the holiday season with a variety of arts classes for all ages, featuring instruction in acting, painting, yoga, music, and special holiday art projects presented via Zoom. Now, in addition to live class presentations, participants will also have access to on-demand workshops to enjoy at their leisure. From winter wreath making to learning how to play holiday music on the piano. As you can see, there are a ton of virtual program offerings. Visit the Fulton Arts and Cultural webpage for details. I'm Taria Smith reporting for FGTV.
Thank you very much, Taria. There is a lot to do. We leave you with scenes from National Adoption Day 2020 at Fulton County Juvenile Court, where children were united with forever families and where Grammy Award-winning artist Anthony Hamilton made a surprise appearance. And before we go, our reminder that FGTV wants to connect with you online. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for all of the up-to-date county news. And you can also catch us anytime on our YouTube channel, so do us a favor and subscribe. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.